Hello, Project Runway fans. I'm Daniel Montgomery here with my fellow Gold Derby editor, Susan Wloszczyna, here to talk about the latest episode, Suit Yourself, which aired as we're recording this last night. We're recording this on Friday afternoon. It was to reinvent the tuxedo, and of course, that gave Christian Siriano a chance to show off the tuxedo dress he made for Billy Porter at the 2019 Oscars, which was a phenomenal look. So the designers had to do that, and one designer, let's just jump right in and start with that one designer who could not do it well at all. Poor Brittany Allen, who's like, I'm gonna really prove to the judges something, and she did. She just proved that she should stay in her lane. She's never made menswear, so she's like, I'm gonna pick the male model and do a men's tuxedo with shorts, and it was so bad. As like, I'm not like a huge fashion person, but I do wear men's clothing, and I would never ever wear that ever. It was really unwearable.
Can I just say that I'm sure Tom Brown feels very comfortable in his suit shorts, but it doesn't work for me. I don't know. Unless you have gorgeous gams, it's just,
I just feel like the whole, like, I can't think of where I would wear a look like that to, because I feel like it's almost like the mullet of clothes, like outfits, because it's like formal up top and very casual down below, and I'm not sure what circumstance I'd ever wear.
The contrast doesn't work for me, even if it's in like a flannel material, and not satin. It just, I mean, I would probably avert my eyes instead of stare.
Yeah, it could be really cool on the runway, but I can't imagine ever wearing that in the world, just because I don't know what circumstances.
If she didn't get into sewing trouble with whatever happened there, I don't know, because I don't want to sew and I can't sew. But
what's funny is that the pants weren't even the worst part. Like, the pants were not good, but the jacket just, like, the lapel was really flimsy. It didn't fit well. It looked like it was like poking out in weird ways. It was just incredibly badly made in a way that I don't want to be too hard on her for, because it's not like I could make it any better. But I also would never wear it. So she was eliminated, and then she was uneliminated. So she got the first and only Siriano save, only this season. He only gets to save one person per season. So presumably if the show comes back for another season, he will get another save. And I thought that was exactly the right outcome for this episode, just because I thought she had clearly the worst look. She clearly deserved to be eliminated for it, but she's done so much good work this season that she clearly deserved to be saved by Christian Siriano. So, like, I would have been mad if they had eliminated Nancy, whose look I liked and whose looks I tend to consistently like, and the judges are much more hit and miss about her. Their opinions about her looks. So what did you think about that save?
I mean, I think it was fair, and he did it. I mean, if you watch the after show, he did it in the moment. It wasn't like he walked in there saying, "I want to save her now." But he just realized that wasn't her forte, and so she was doing so well previously, mostly, except for the Christmas challenge or whatever it was, that, she deserved to be saved. And I didn't flinch at that at all. I felt like, I wanted to see more from her, but just not short satin pants. But I thought, Marchese is like coming back with, superpowers, because I really like that jacket. And
I love that whole look.
I mean, I looked and I go, I would wear that. I just thought it was so cool. And I think he knows how to do that, unlike Brittany. So he made it work very well. And it was I couldn't believe you would do that. And the sewing was good. Everything was good about it. And he had like little, decorations and stuff. And it was, It was very cool.
Yeah, it was so, and it's so telling because he was eliminated 2 weeks ago, and since then he's gotten 2 high scores in a row. Although I wouldn't have personally put him in the top for the sheer challenge, but yeah, this week I thought he absolutely deserved to win it hands down, and it's just so telling of like when someone is eliminated, you never get to see what they could have done if they got to stay, and so if it hadn't been for DeYoung having to withdraw from the competition, we never would have gotten these last 2 looks from Marquise. And it's kind of sad. And it makes me think, well, what about these other designers who were sent home? Like, who among them had more potential than we got to see? And especially like early in the season, like Jen and Ozma getting both eliminated on the first challenge. I'm like, well, we never really got to see them do anything.
No, right. And, but, okay, we got to talk about Sergio.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Delvin's reaction to his political statement was like the best yet.
And every single every time they would cut to Delvin, they would cut to people backstage, and they would just be like doing their head in their hands. It's like, stop. And I'm just like, stop talking. You're making it worse. Because I'm like, the dress wasn't terrible. Although the more I look at it, the more like I thought the material looked really heavy, and it sort of looked kind of like a straitjacket.
It didn't lay nicely. It was like sort of like a little Stay Puft marshmallow.
Yeah. The shape wasn't great in that sense. It was well made, but
it had to be more on the body.
With maybe a material that was less, because it looked like sort of like quilting felt almost material. That stiffness.
And speaking of bad material.
Well, let's stick on Sergio.
Stick on Sergio. Okay. Well,
let's get through the Sergio section, and then we'll move on to
outfit.
Inventing the backwards tuxedo. And again, I'm not a fashion expert, but as soon as we get these episodes in advance, and I take my notes for the live blog that evening. And as soon as he said, I'm going to make a backwards tuxedo, and the first thing that came to mind was like, oh, like the Celine Dion one. And he said, I don't think anyone would ever think of this. It's never been done before. And I'm thinking, well, first of all, even if you didn't know the Celine Dion dress, Nancy just made a backwards shirt in the Upcycle challenge. And he and Nancy are besties, so he should have remembered that. It wasn't it's not a new concept to take clothes that you would normally expect and turn them backwards. It's a thing that's been done.
But he got reamed out on the runway.
And deserved it. But he was
backwards political, going backwards. Yeah. And then he mentioned the 50s. I go, what?
Yeah, and he just kept talking. It's like I made this dress because we keep going backwards as a society. And then he was saying the real best time to be alive was the 1950s. And it's what? He was
no
making
civil rights, women,
I'm so glad Elaine just completely read in the riot act on that. Because I mean, if that were his real political convictions, it would be offensive enough. But it was so clear that he came up with the idea of the backwards dress, and he just tacked on a political meaning after the fact. Literally, Veronica was there saying, we had this idea. He had this idea, and then he decided what the politics of it was. Which
the
is
only way he could get away with it if he says, "I'm doing homage."
Yeah.
And updating it somehow.
Yeah, update it, do a different color, do a slightly different style, or something somewhere
but
different.
But nothing about the world of large was involved in that dress.
No. The thing that made me mad about that was that he had a top look. The judges had 4 top looks and 3 bottom looks. I can't imagine why, after all the judges, who, by the way, Brandon and Carly are younger than Sergio, and they knew the dress, so it's not like his young age at the time was any excuse.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he had a top look, even though they thought he basically plagiarized another look, and he had that horrible political thing, how on earth did he make the top for that? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, he hasn't been in danger totally of leaving yet. So
no. I mean,
maybe he'll get a clue about this whole political thing and just stop it, because it just makes you squeamish when he said. I mean, it's uncomfortable because the way he's saying it, he's just coming up with something that he hasn't even thought about until now. You know?
He just makes it up as he goes along, and he's not learning, because when he went backstage with Nancy after getting the critiques, he said, "I started a conversation," as if getting a negative reaction from the judges is part of that makes him brave. It doesn't make him brave. It just makes him clueless. Like his opinions aren't based on anything real. They're just kind of window dressing for whatever he puts on the runway. He needs to stop it. Even when his looks are good, he needs to stop it.
Well, I think he's doing. I mean, I think he's a good designer. I mean, that thing he did with the sheer thing was wonderful. I mean, I think that's the best look this season for me.
And he told a story with it, but it was specific and it was clear. Like, it was about his model's specific life experience. I was so worried. It's like, oh, his model's married to a Chinese man, and he's gonna. I was like, oh no, this is gonna go so wrong. But it was beautiful, and it was subtle, and but it was clear, and and that was the right direction, because he started with the story and then made the dress thinking about that story. Yeah. As opposed to this time where he made the dress and it's like, okay, what can I say the politics on?
Right.
Okay,
I must say though, even though I'm glad Brittany stayed, she and Delvin got paid back for putting down Nancy.
Yeah.
Because I think their outfits had maybe more problems than Nancy's, because mostly they didn't like that she repeated her pants again.
Yeah, that I can't defend Nancy for. I do like those pants and how she sort of redid them in a different way. Well, not really a different way, but with this different look.
Right.
I can see that. I totally understand that criticism, and it's a totally valid criticism, although there have been weeks when Victoria has done same.
Right.
The judges are like, you're still brilliant. You're still brilliant. You're still brilliant. So Nancy using the same pants twice, I feel like, I thought the look was great. I thought the fabric it had a great sheen to it. It was colorful, but not overpowering. I just thought the whole look was good. And I don't know why she was at the bottom, especially with Delvin and Brittany. And Brittany, I mean, when them talking down about Nancy's look was really mean-spirited, but Delvin was really the worst of it, and he's really had it out for Nancy this whole time.
I don't know why. She rubs him the wrong way, and she doesn't. I mean, she's just herself. I mean, she's not phony. She's not like in anybody's face. I mean, she's just doing her thing, and she's very happy to be there and
she's doing it well. Like, she's had a couple of bottom looks, but like this bottom look, I don't think either bottom look was really that bad. Like her Ashley Longshore look, the coat was too big. That was really the main criticism, but they really liked the rest of the look.
Right.
And this guy, she repeated her pants and they didn't get a sense of the tuxedo-iness of it, but I thought it was really flattering and really cool. And I did get a sense of kind of the reinvented tuxedo idea from it. Yeah. So like, I don't know what the judges are.
And then blaming her that the button thingy was her fault.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was, but we don't know that.
Maybe somebody else broke it and left it that way. I wouldn't put it past some of these people.
And it's an electronic machine. Like, things break for reasons that maybe like she caused and maybe she didn't. It just gave Delvin another reason to be like, she's getting in my way again. I'm like, come on.
But Alan, you were so happy, weren't you? He didn't eat anything, but serving water to Victoria. I'm glad she's like, come on. Where am I going to put that? It's going to fall over and glass will be on her outfit.
and I love Alan, just his energy and personality. He's another person who I think if he had had more time on the show, could he have done something really good? Because I think like the dress he was eliminated for, the Christmas Burning Man dress. I thought there were things about that worked. Like, I thought the dress worked, and I'm like, okay, if he refines things, he could be really good. So I'm sad that we didn't get to see more of him as a designer, but I am glad that we got to see more of him just as a person, because
he just needed a few more leaves up top. That
a few more leaves and connect it
with the bottom.
But yeah, I loved. He paired well with Victoria just because
they were funny. They were the funniest.
Yeah, Victoria didn't really want any of his help, but it did kind of just let him be him in the workroom and just hang out, which is honestly kind of what I miss the most about him. Like, I just wanted to hang out in the workroom and make, of all people, Delvin laugh. He made Delvin laugh, which tells you how just positive the vibes coming off of him are.
Right. But it was a good episode. The trouble is that everyone's pretty much, good now. Mm-hmm. There's no real losers, so it becomes harder. So we'll see. But tie-dye next week, oh my God. Let's hope for the best. I don't know if they have to make their own or not. Yeah, but Leslie Jones will be there, so that'll be fun.
Yeah. We now have, there are 7 contestants left. I think the only 2 who haven't won a challenge are Nancy and Delvin. And it's kind of surprising that they've stuck around this long, because they eliminated, I was very surprised when they eliminated Brittany, because I thought it was going to be exactly like Nancy predicted backstage. That, it's like, oh, mine isn't the worst look, but they want to see more from Brittany. And so I thought that's what's going to happen. They're going to eliminate Nancy because she hasn't impressed them as much, and Brittany has, so they're going to let her off with a warning. Same thing they did with Victoria last week when she had that god-awful 2-hour dress. And so I was surprised when the judges actually did eliminate Brittany. But yeah, I don't know who's, like, I don't know how Nancy avoids an elimination unless she's just amazing next week. Because I feel like the judges are just never that into her. And if they're not into her next time, they're just going to let her go.
I don't know how they'll handle, like I said, tie-dye, whether they have to do it themselves or whatever. But, I mean, I don't know if there's a lot of tie-dye fabric in Moods. Unless they're given something, specific, the way they did with the Ashley Longshore. But yeah, why not go back to the 60s or whatever?
And it did look like from the preview that they were giving them kind of supplies and they were doing the tie-dyeing themselves. I think. And this might be one where actually maybe Nancy has an advantage because since she's 64, she was
a little around in the time.
Yeah, she was a little bit alive in the 60s, so she might have been around some tie-dye in her life.
Right.
So, but hopefully not. She keeps it modern, which I think she's good at. I always think her looks are things that some of them I'd wear today.
Yeah, but no, I like that they gave a little background to her, being a single mom with her cute little boys and doing, taking 5 jobs at one time to keep them fed and happy. So, you got to pay respect to her. You can't treat her like, she's something easily, pushed out of the show or whatever, like they did. But that was great. I mean, I love that clip. That was like my favorite preview clip. But I think they learned their lesson. They can't be too full of themselves now. They have to focus on themselves, not other people's problems. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when we didn't, I don't think we talked fully about Delvin's look, his actual look.
Yeah, I thought it looked like something for a military uniform, not a fancy event.
I thought it was okay. My problem with it is that he did the sort of asymmetrical thing, so he was trying to...
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. It was tugging. It didn't fit.
I didn't like it either, and for me, I didn't like it just because it didn't do anything for the look. Like when... To her credit, when Victoria does an asymmetric look, it looks purposeful. It looks like it's deliberate. In this case, it just looked kind of lopsided. It didn't do anything for the look.
Yeah.
It didn't.
It wasn't flattering.
Yeah, it was just
I would not wear that.
Yeah, it was just a blah look from someone who thought like, oh, this is the tuxedo challenge. This is my challenge. And he did such a good job with the Ashley Longshore challenge, or at least the judge. So that wasn't my favorite look that week. But yeah, so like they need to not throw stones in glass houses.
Well, I think both of them got a little humbled this week, so
I hope so.
But maybe not, because most of these people aren't born that way. So.
I mean, Brittany is humbled. Like, I don't even think Brittany is ever like mean when like she, you know, because Delvin even told Brittany to her face, it's like, yeah, I think you and Nancy are in the bottom. And he turned out to be right about that, at least. But yeah, so I don't think Brittany is mean, but I think Delvin can be mean. And I don't, like, for someone who thinks he's, like, such hot stuff, or at least especially on this challenge, like, it turned out, yeah, not so much this time.
Yeah.
And, yeah, but he, unlike Sergio, is someone who I think is capable of being humbled. Like, he's had bad weeks before, and he's bounced back, and he's been, you know, really receptive to kind of new ideas and things like that. So I have hope for Delvin. I like Delvin a lot of the time. Sometimes he's just a little bit too into his own self.
Well, you know, the thing about depression, you know, I guess he gets joy by making other people depressed with their work, like poor Nancy. I don't know. Wherever you can find joy, you know, go for it, I guess. But
see, where I want Delvin to find joy is from Alan, just being Alan.
Well, he's gone.
Just keep him around. He can be like just sort of the support. He'll be the new Swatch, like in the workroom. Just
there
be like to make everyone happy.
No Swatch. No, Alan is Alan, but he's no dog.
Well, no, he doesn't have to replace Swatch. Swatch is Swatch at mood, and then Alan is kind of everyone's emotional support in the workroom.
Okay, I guess that counts. Although this new version of Runway, they at least this week on the after show, they give Swatch his due and lets him pick who his favorite to win is. So that'll be something to see if anybody wants to watch that. Anyway, no, at first I thought, like you, some of the more fun designers have been cut, but this show was particularly entertaining for all sorts of reasons, because everybody had some issue, I think, almost.
Yeah, I think I do miss some of the more fun designers, although I do think we have a good crop left. Yeah. Like and they seem like mostly good people. Like I imagine when Sergio is not designing things and telling stories about his looks, he's even capable of being a perfectly lovely human being.
Well, he was nice to Nancy, and
he's been nice to Nancy, and he's totally right about that. I'm totally on his side with that.
That's his clientele, so he knows how to deal with older women. He's not afraid of them. So
except for Cyndi Lauper, terrified of Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, with that, thank you, Susan, for joining me once again this week, and thank you to everyone for watching and listening. Next week is tie-dye, and only like maybe 3 or 4 weeks left of the competition before the finale. So you can make your predictions at goldderby.com for who will win, who will be eliminated next, all that sort of stuff. Until then, we'll see you then.